Can I get a show of hands for who's seen the movie The Sandlot? Raise your hand. All right. Then I'm sure you know the line, "You play ball like a girl," right? What was meant to shame is clearly a compliment, as one of the greatest displays of human talent and ability is happening at the Women's College World Series right here in OKC. You know, after this line is delivered, the boys responded much in the exact same way that we respond in opponents in the fight against injustice and oppression, excited to watch the other team walk away in shame. Unfortunately, oppression in our culture is as American as baseball and apple pie. We must continue to use our voices and our wallets and our influence to not just challenge these behaviors, but to call them what they are: wrong, blind, and destructive. However, in an era shifting towards greater inclusion and diversity, we must realize that we can't just challenge those behaviors and then treat our neighbors as they're inherently unworthy people. This work will not be won by using self-righteousness as a weapon against those that disagree with us. In the cult classic Monty Python, they ask the question of, what do you do with a witch? The mob responds, we burn them. Well, the mob was wrong. The guiltiness of the white supremacists, the apathy of men towards the plight of women, the oppression of those in the seat of power, those things will not be cured by vile tweets and really well-crafted scarlet letters. In his book, Just Mercy, Brian Stevenson says that we are more than the worst thing that we've ever done. So my question is, what do we do with the guilty? Earlier this year at the University of Oklahoma, 2 white female students recorded themselves on Snapchat. They spoke of being a nigger in blackface. They unenrolled from school due to the public outcry. They were kicked out of their social sorority. Someone I look up to a lot and am inspired by, Clarence Hill, a local racial reconciliation advocate, said, you know what, let's not just focus on this issue, but rather let's use this as the long view. Let's use it as an opportunity to create dialogue between those students and the campus. Why? Because this isn't just about race. When it comes down to true change, we've got to realize that meaningful dialogue and direct engagement can go much farther than shame. The truth is that our children deserve better than the world that's created when we use shame. So the question is, what's the alternative? I think there are 3. Self-reflection. Many have heard of the line that says, it's hard to reconcile with somebody whose boot is on the back of your neck. I ask myself the question on, whose neck is my boot on? This allows me to be able to see this from the perspective of, where is my guilt and privilege? So that whenever I challenge oppression, I can do it with both accountability and grace. There's change in self-reflection. When it comes down to direct engagement, that's the second opportunity we have. We have to ask questions. Who is my enemy? And what do they look like? What are they so afraid of? There's an opportunity for me to engage this person, because loving your enemy is not a euphemism. It's actually a really effective solution. There is change in direct engagement. When it comes down to the next step, I take my lessons as a husband. When my wife and I got married, we got some pretty sage advice. They said it's real hard to yell at somebody if you're holding their hand. So hold hands during arguments. Now, my wife is here tonight and she can tell you, it ain't always comfortable, but it definitely works. All of a sudden, my ability to dialogue is increased because I'm proximate. You see, there's change in proximity. Some of you might be sitting here thinking, man, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm frustrated. The pace of change isn't happening nearly quick enough. The truth is, I'm exhausted too. Shame feels good in the moment. It makes me think that everybody agrees with me. There's an echo chamber that says, rah, 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 we can do this. But in 2019, I believe that reflection, direct engagement, and proximity are better alternatives to create the change we need. We're in desperate need for change, but there's no change in shame.